The Afternoon Drive with Aaron Delatorre.
Your hometown station.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.
409 here on your hometown station, KHTS. He's gregarious, he's educated, and he's always looking out for the little man. He's Richard Szerman of Alta Realty. He joins me in studio right now. What's happening, Rich?
Hey, how you doing? At least you said gregarious first. I'll take that. I'd rather have educated and gregarious, but I'll take gregarious first. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. What's happening? I just wanted to say thank you to KHTS for letting me come in and talk about some of this stuff, as you always do. I always appreciate the airtime. I've got a file right now. I've got a case that I wanted to bring in, so I brought the case file in with me. I don't want to use his whole name, so we'll just call him Wayne. But let me tell you a little bit about his story. Wayne is 81 years old. He has been living in the same house for just shy of 20 years. Mm-hmm. He has a mortgage. His mortgage, unfortunately, was sold to a company called Carrington Mortgage. He didn't pick them. They picked the mortgage. And he is in default, as a lot of our clients are. And his story, as I said, is he's 81 years old. He's had multiple health problems, a couple of bouts with cancer, a couple of strokes, things of that nature, which will happen when you get to that age for some of us. And he has a heart surgery coming up that the prognosis is not wonderful, but he has a heart surgery coming up in the next 1 to 2 months, 3 months maybe, depending on what his insurance gets him in there. And all he wants is to be able to stay in his house long enough to get through that surgery.
Right.
And, he'll then sell the house. We'll have to do it as a short sale because the bank won't allow a reinstatement or anything. So I should say a loan modification. So all he wants to do is stay in his house and then do a short sale and move out. That's better for the banks, better for him. It works for everybody. He just needs a little time. Carrington Mortgage, in their infinite wisdom, has decided that he doesn't get any. They have decided, and this is the part that really rubs me the wrong way, they told me, and this is a direct quote, they said that they have every intention, because the amount that is owed on the house is not that large. It's a very small short sale. We're talking about a very small amount of money, $20,000, $30,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is not much in mortgage terms. They've decided that they would rather foreclose because the house is in disrepair, so they can foreclose, fix up the house, and sell it at a profit, and they'll make more money than by doing a short sale. So the lender has decided to get themselves into the home renovation and flipping business, and because they can make more money on this house, this 81-year-old man should be thrown out into the street. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. I guarantee you there is enough profit in Carrington Mortgage net sheet this year that they could afford to give him another 2 or 3 months and not have it affect anything.
Is this a typical case around the Santa Cruz Valley? Are many people facing challenges like this?
Well, there are a lot of people who are facing this sort of thing. This particular behavior from this particular lender is unusual. Usually what will happen in a situation like this is you make a request for a short sale. We usually get them done. About 80% of the time, we're going to get a short sale loan. We are going to get a loan modification done about 80% of the time. So we'll be able to keep the client in the house. In the instance that we can't, which is only about 20% of our business, the 20% of the time we can't, those houses typically get sold as short sales. And it takes some time to do it, and it gives the client some time to adjust, find other housing, etc. Now, the real rub in his case is he can get subsidized housing because, as we all know, in and around Los Angeles, it's extremely expensive to live.
Oh, my God.
Rents are insane. They've gone up in just an extraordinary amount in the last couple of years, and they were crazy to begin with. So in order for a lot of people to be able to, especially if they're coming out of financial hardship, in order for a lot of people to be able to rent, they get subsidized housing through the state of California or the government or the county. There are various subsidies you can get. If you have a foreclosure, a recent foreclosure, you are denied from most of those subsidies for 12 to 18 months, depending on what you've got. Mm-hmm. So is this 81-year-old man supposed to live with health issues, supposed to live in his car for the next 18 months?
He's just got to wait it out, Rich.
I guess. I don't know where he's supposed to live while he's waiting it out, but he's supposed to wait another 12 to 18 months.
Outside of being morally bankrupt, though, is it illegal for this company to be doing what it's doing?
It's not illegal, and that's what we need to address. I'll tell you exactly what the hang-up is. There is a rule. I don't know that I'd call it a law. It's a rule. It comes out of the RESPA guidelines. RESPA, for all the real estate listeners, Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act, RESPA. There's a RESPA rule that says if you're going to submit a file to a lender for loss mitigation, which means short sale, loan mod, anything like that, you should give the lender at least 37 days. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is the lender gets 5 days to tell you whether or not they have a complete package. They're adding 2 days for weekends, basically. And then they have 30 days to give you an answer. So 37 days is sort of the field in which you get an answer in. So that's what they're using. In this particular case, we made an offer to them at 28 days. They said, I'm sorry, you're within the 37 days, and that's the reason for declining it. Now, because notices of sale, and I don't want to get too pedantic, but this is really important, a notice of sale, you would only know when the foreclosure date is 21 days prior to that date. You get a notice posted on your door. They tape it to the front door, and it says, 21 days from today, we are selling your house in front of the courthouse steps or wherever it is. That is the foreclosure. So how are you supposed to know 37 days prior to an event that you only get 21 days notice of?
Right.
You got 16 days where you just got to guess. And so what we see is a lot of times people fall into that 16-day gray area, as we did with this. I call it a gray area. And almost every bank in the country, with the exception of Carrington, on this file, even Carrington on previous files has behaved better. But this is a unique file for them, and I'll explain why. It has to do with money. Everyone else will give you just an automatic 30 days. If it's the first time that they've scheduled a foreclosure sale date, especially, this is the first time they've scheduled one, and you go, hey, we need a little more time, they'll almost reflexively go, you know what, we'll push it back 30 days. Doesn't cost us a lot to do that. It costs us next to nothing.
Right.
It gives us the time to give you a disposition on the file. Now, that's not always a good thing or a bad thing, but at least they give you the time. Now, once you've done that 2 or 3 times, you're going to get a lot stickier about it, and that's fair. But the first time out of the box, give them an extra 30 days. It costs you nothing at Carrington. But they just won't do it. And the reason they won't do it, and this is the part that's infuriating, is because, as I mentioned, what he owes on the property is really not that much less than the amount of the sale. Now, the fact that they demanded, I should say, way more money than this property is really worth, and they got an offer at that, which is kind of amazing, and all within a very, very short time frame, which is even more amazing. They set this file up to fail. The requirements that they had for this client Wayne, who's their client as well as mine, let's not forget, they set him up for failure because from the get-go, it is my belief, and I think the record proves this, they determined they would make more money by foreclosing, rehabbing the property, and reselling it themselves than by doing what they are supposed to do, what the law says they have to do, and that is considering the client's situation and acting openly and honestly with the client to try to find a resolution. These guys turned us down for every loan modification we could possibly make, and we tried for a couple of months to get something to happen and just nothing. They fast-tracked the foreclosure as quickly as they possibly could. They then set a ridiculous standard as to what they needed for the property. We got them the first offer, and they said way too low. And we went back to that buyer and said, how do you feel about this higher number? And that buyer said way too high, which is fair. We immediately got them another offer, which was the higher amount. So we've satisfied their requirement, which I'm sure they were very surprised about, and so now they're hiding behind another rule to avoid doing this. And again, the reason for the short sale in this case is to give him enough time to get through this heart surgery and to get the house sold as a short sale so he doesn't have the foreclosure.
Not saying he's going to stay in it long term.
No, it's a couple of months.
Yeah, right.
Literally, all they have to do is agree to push back the foreclosure sale date by 30 to 60 days. The thing sells as a short sale. They don't have to worry about a foreclosure. They don't have to worry about doing evictions. This will, if you were only considering the sale of the property, this will be a lot cheaper for the bank and lose the bank a lot less money than a foreclosure. But the bank in this case, as they actually admitted to, I mean, the hubris, the arrogance, they actually admitted to this. Said it flat out. We intend to foreclose on the property because we're going to take the property back and rehab it and sell it at a profit. Because
there's financial gain to make.
Nah, this is the exact reason. There is a housing crisis in Los Angeles, and we feel Carrington Mortgage can take advantage of that crisis. So you're going to screw over an 81-year-old man. You're going to take advantage of his misfortune so that you can benefit from the fact that Los Angeles has a housing crisis to begin with. I don't even know, I don't even have the words to say how dishonorable and disgraceful that sort of behavior is. But unfortunately, it's not illegal. It's immoral, it's unethical,
right.
But it's not illegal.
They're creating a personal crisis for this man to take advantage of another crisis brought on by this exact situation.
Exactly.
So is this a lost cause? Is this a lost case?
No, it's not. That's why I wanted to bring it in on the air today, and I wanted to come in and talk about it because the more we talk about these things, the one thing the banks fear more than anything else is not me, it's you. It's people who are in the press, it's people who have a microphone, it's the public who gets out there and writes on internet comments and things of that nature. Carrington Mortgage is a bad actor here. They are. We can demonstrate this. This may turn into a legal action. I don't know. We're looking into that. As I said, this happened fairly quickly. We're just kind of getting into this as far as the decline because we thought for sure they'd approve it. So it may go that route. But people need to know, if you have a mortgage, there is a 37-day guideline that you need to know about. You may be 16 days into that guideline and have no idea it's even there because of the disparity between that particular guideline and the law governing foreclosures and notice of sale. So that's one thing I want to bring. The other thing I want to bring up is if anyone who can hear this, and KHTS listeners are great at this, and thank you guys for this, when you guys go to the comments section and you leave comments, when you guys comment, we air these things in other places, it's helpful. The banks see how many comments they get. They see how much interest there is, and this is why they're afraid of you more than me. They are afraid of the public knowing what they're up to.
it affects the amount of people that want to do business with them.
Absolutely, it does. It affects their stock price.
Right.
I mean, I'll give you another example. When Wells Fargo had a series of just horrible scandals over the last couple of years, they don't care that they're taking money, stealing from their own depositors. Trust me, that wasn't on their mind. If it was, they wouldn't steal from them to begin with. But the fact that affected their stock price in a pretty big way, that means a lot to them. And it means a lot to Carrington as well. Any company that has a public face is afraid of public scrutiny because they know what they're doing is wrong. There is no math you're going to employ that is going to tell you it is morally correct to speed an 81-year-old man in poor health out of his home of nearly 20 years because you can make an extra buck.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Coming directly off heart surgery at that.
Yeah.
He's Richard Szerman of Alta Realty, always shot out of a cannon, which I appreciate. He brought in a whole file. We're going after the Carrington company.
Carrington Mortgage.
And he did not bring in Oreo cookies, which what happened with that whole situation? Is this just an era of unprecedented incompetence?
This one, when the book is written, it's going to say this was the era of arrogance and ignorance. It is astonishing. The head of HUD, when asked what an REO is, thought it was a cookie. How do you keep your job? If I asked you what a microphone was and you said it was a cookie, I'm pretty sure your days on the air would be numbered.
Yeah, right.
I mean, come on. How do you not know that? This is one of the most basic things you've ever had. But then when you put a guy in that position whose only qualification for that position is he used to live in a house, that does not qualify you to be the head of housing and urban development. And it's shameful. They still to this day haven't staffed up a lot of the people that belong there. It's a disaster. And that's why a lot of the banks can get away with this.
Not only there, but a lot of departments spread across the government.
Oh, yeah. They're just not doing their job. But the first thing that goes away when this sort of stuff happens is oversight. And when oversight goes away, the moneyed interest, in this case the banks, can behave like there is no law, because effectively for them there isn't. Your recourse for a bank taking advantage of you can certainly come talk to us and we'll help, and we do this for free. And my number is 661-714-1400. I think everybody knows that at this point, but come in and talk to us. But your recourse for a situation like this is not to go to law enforcement, is not to go anywhere except civil court. So here you are in a situation where you're in foreclosure, you're desperately trying to save your house, and somehow you have to come up with the money to hire an attorney and press a lawsuit just to enforce your rights with a bank who is ignoring them because there is no reason for them not to.
Right.
That's shameful. That's not the way it's supposed to work in this country. It's wrong. And that's what we seek to change. So if you are in trouble, if you have somebody who's in trouble, if you know somebody in trouble, give me a call. We can help. I'm at 661-714-1400. And I wanted to tell this story about Wayne because I want to see if we can get something done. We have roughly 13 days to get this sorted. So I'm hoping.
Man. Clock is ticking.
Clock is ticking.
You can also go to richsherman.com, and that's Sherman, SZERMAN.com, richsherman.com.
That's me.
Learn about the rental rebate program, the resale renovation program, free loan modification.
Yeah.
Rich is always here helping out the little man. I appreciate it.
We're here, man.
All right, Rich, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you for the time.
Anytime, of course. 422, time for a quick break. More music coming up.
98.1 FM and AM 1220.